Trademark Chili Incorporated.
All right, let's get back to Beer on the Balcony with Doug Goodstein. Because when we last left you, John brought on Doug and started making fun of him for technical problems. And now this is fun because John likes to pretend like he was such good friends with Doug Goodstein. Now, Doug Goodstein was the guy working the camera a lot of the times when John would go out and do his celebrity interviews. So they had projects together they would work on. All right, so John likes to talk about, man, we were just best of buddies, and Doug lays it out for what it really was.
We always just had like a good time together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were definitely, we had good times. We worked and we spent plenty of time socializing personally with families, dinners, me buying you lots of dinners, me loaning you lots of money, me loaning you more money, me paying for your cabs, me paying for your clothing. Yeah, absolutely. Great friendship.
You know that's not true.
I know, John. Of course not. I'm totally messing. But just the first 6 ones, not the 7th one.
Yeah. So Doug is saying,
I didn't buy any clothes.
He didn't buy any clothes. Right. He didn't buy John's clothes, but he did all of those other things. And I know that's true. And John likes to laugh and I'm like, yeah, okay, if you say so. John thought he was the talent. He was the one that had the name recognition. So when they would go out, it's like, come on, Doug, I'm hanging out with you, man. You can't grab dinner for me? What the fuck? By the way, I don't have any money for the cab fare. This is so typical.
How awful do you think Stuttering John's sloppy seconds were just to go hang out with him? The girls that would have been interested in him back in the day.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's not a great scene.
Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
By the way, this is every other conversation he has with a girl. Do you know Jackie Martling? Yeah, I work with him. Can you introduce me to him? All right. I see where this is going. Okay, so now they're going to reminisce about, and we've talked about this before, for a little while, John was given the afternoon slot after the Howard Stern show on K-Rock to do they're playing music, but it was a lot of like call in and requests. It was called Out to Lunch.
Right, and the ratings plummeted from what I understand.
God, did they? People hated it.
And all he was doing was playing the music that the music director picked for him, and it still plummeted.
Sometimes.
After a lead-in from the biggest show on planet Earth.
Sometimes he wouldn't even play the music he was supposed to play, and that's why he got fired.
Oh, he's a rebel, is he?
Yeah. But this is great, because now they're going to reminisce about how much fun that was. And I honestly, after hearing this, I'm surprised that the network didn't want him to be on Lager.
I used to love when I had my Out to Lunch show. I had my radio show, and then you would call in as the angry Jewish guy who was mad, or I'd have you request like Pearl Jam or something. Yeah. Here, let's recreate it. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, John. I love your show. Will you play some Pearl Jam after my wife Pearl?
Dynamite stuff.
Would you play some Alice in Chains for my cunt wife? Her name's Martha.
It's Martha, but she's in chains right now. See, wow, that's not funny at all. This is what was trying to follow the Howard Stern show, and he's actually acting like that was a good bit that they did. Remember when I used to have you calling? Because they're in New York City on K-Rock. He can't get regular callers. He had to get the guy from Howard TV.
I just want to say thank you for doing this segment right now.
You're welcome.
I forgot how much I enjoyed fucking Drop the Needle Anywhere. Yeah. That fucking face.
I know. Oh, no. Trust me.
That fucking face.
This is the era of Stuttering John, and it's too bad that it ended when it did, because he was doing the Beer on the Balconies where he's pretending that they were these comedy shows where everyone was just laughing their balls off. And in order to pretend that, he has to laugh so hard at everything, even though no one's laughing with him.
I just want everybody to know that Carl's fall from grace is going to be terrible. He's going to be doing a podcast going, remember when Stuttering John was really bad?
Yeah.
That was great, wasn't it?
Let me play a clip of me playing a clip of him when he sucked and I was good.
Glory days.
I know, it's going to be fun.
Oh, God.
It's going to be fun. I always got Google to fall back on, Vinny.
I got fucking
Who wants to show up on the top of the first page, huh? Hey, we can help you out with that. All right. What I love about John is the Beer on the Balcony is an interview style show, and he is a phenomenal interviewer. He always asks the best questions of his guests.
What was the thing that I got mad at you about on the Stuttering Show? I don't remember, but
Wouldn't
there was
loan you
one time
money?
I got mad because I guess you didn't tell me I had something on my face. I don't know. I was trying to remember. Do you remember? Like I said, you set me up because I went in there and I had something on my face, or I don't.
I have no idea.
I love that story.
Why even bring it up?
Do you remember the time that I was a slob?
Remember that time I was really pissed off at you? Like, no. Why do you want me to remember that? I don't. If you want to, like, air some grievances, we could do that right now, but you don't even know what you're mad about. So what's the fucking point?
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty great. All right.
Do you remember the time I was mad at you because I didn't wash my face?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
We laughed our asses off.
That's basically what he just said right there. Yeah.
Fucking working with this man had to be the absolute worst experience ever.
Well, the good thing...
He's screaming because he forgot to wash his face?
Oh, he still holds a grudge about it. He doesn't remember it, but he remembers being mad at Doug Goodstein. He still is mad at him.
Do you realize how psychotic that is?
I do, yeah. Does John know? He doesn't know that at all.
He thought that was going to be a good anecdote.
Yeah.
Remember that time you let me look like a fool?
Yeah. Doug, fill in the blank. Doug Goodstein really sucked that day that he did this. Go. Now you go.
Now, let's see what you say.
All right. So what I love about John is, aside from being able to ask all the best questions, he's also an amazing storyteller. So they're talking about Richie Wilson here, another guy from Howard TV.
I was doing stand up at Side Splitters in Tampa, and he stayed for like 2 shows, or he came back. He went to one, then came back to the other. And I do this thing about, I do this bit about my interviews. He goes, John, so while he's in the audience, he goes, how about OJ? I go, I interviewed OJ? He goes, yeah, you don't remember? I go, no. What did I ask him? He goes, you asked OJ if he would sign your knife. I go, oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, crap. Yeah, you're probably too terrified to retain it.
I blocked it out of my mind.
Over. Oh, my God.
This is now a story that John has been telling without the part that Richie reminded him of this. He keeps saying,
He does it in his fucking act.
yeah, I asked OJ to sign my knife. And he said, oh, I brought my own. Now, that didn't happen. I've had numerous people reach out to me and say, that anecdote never happened. Now it makes even more sense because Richie Wilson told him it happened. How would John get an interview with OJ after the murders? It didn't happen. Any conversation they ever had with OJ from the Howard Stern show was long before the murders. OJ wasn't on red carpets after that, going around just fucking fielding questions.
With a knife.
If anyone remembers, and he didn't have a good sense of humor about it either, he wasn't going around.
I was on the red carpet for Batman Returns, and when OJ came walking up,
Yeah, it wasn't the hello Twitter world OJ that we have today. After he got off from that, there was a lot of bullshit heading towards him that he was trying to escape the limelight from.
to be fair though, OJ was kind of around. He was just playing golf and shit.
He wasn't fielding questions from
Sure.
Stuttering John Melendez. I
Sure.
can guarantee you that. So I thought that was funny that because they brought it up. The reason why they got into that conversation is Doug was going, you know, who remembers everything that happened on the Stern show? Because John's going, remember this? And Doug's like, I don't know. Because, Richie Wilson remembers everything. And John goes, oh, yeah, that reminds me. Richie told me some bullshit made up story once. And now I pretend that's true. Okay, cool. It's weird. Doesn't even fucking make sense.
Nice to see you, Doug.
All right, so now John's going to say his favorite memory with Doug is when they interviewed James Lovo, and he was an Apollo 13 astronaut. Now, John has a way of telling this story that only John knows how, because John, he's the guy who's behind the mic. He's in front of the camera, not behind the camera, like Doug. So he has to scold Doug for ruining this amazing anecdote that he has.
But there he is, nice old man. And there I am asking him, well, you ever pee in your fucking space, in your space,
It was so childish. It's just the words of those questions that were written. Did you ever make a duty? Did you ever run, did you run a batch?
Oh, that was the last one. So
EP,
But hold on, Doug. I'm building up to that. So
Whoa! Run off a batch. That was going to be the punchline to an elaborate story, you asshole.
Like my batch, I was running up to it.
I know. But I mean, all these questions are the same thing. You ever piss in your thing? You ever shit in it? You ever jerk off in it? And so Doug's just like, yeah, we asked a lot of immature questions. This is just, whoa, I was getting there. Slow down. We're going to milk this one.
How many times in his life do you think he's been in, like, around parents and, like, PTA shit? He's like, remember me? I'm the one who asked so-and-so, so-and-so. And people just stare at him horrified.
Yeah, he still thinks that he's just like, oh, yeah, that's great, John. We love that about you. He's like, no, that's inappropriate.
Yeah, no. He has no fucking filter or way to judge this shit.
I have a friend whose daughter went to school with John's kids. I should ask him if any of that kind of shit ever happened. I doubt he's ever at a PTA meeting, actually. Now we take that all back. You think John's actually involved in his children's lives? Probably not.
Where is your father today? The third row of the Tonight Show?
He scored good tickets, huh? Well, no, I mean, he actually works there, but that's where they put him, so.
Oh.
Does he have a +1? No.
He's on the show every night when they do the audience scan of the crowd. Yeah. He waves at me.
By the way, I want to point out, Kiki Loco says, Gary Garver interviewed OJ after the murders, not John. So that would make sense that Richie Wilson remembered that he probably was there. There probably was something that happened, but that was not Stuttering John who was a part of that, because I think conversation with OJ happened long after John was gone.
Poetic license.
You're right.
That's my story now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like with a true story, you combine two people into one because you just got to move things along. Sure. Yeah, I talked to OJ. I talked to every president. Why not?
I interviewed Bruce Springsteen.
Okay. So now John's going to show Doug how to tell this story.
Then comes the question: did you ever run off a batch in space? And then you couldn't even hold. You were like, ah. And I start cracking up, and I go, I'm sorry, he's laughing. And James goes, I'm not laughing. And he walks away.
Yeah.
This fucking guy.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. Remember that time I asked a celebrity a ridiculous question and he walked away from me? Yeah. That's what always happens.
I really think the beer on the balcony could have been really fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
If the guests that they gave him were people he never met before. If every time the guest was someone he had never met before, this show would be fucking 10 times funnier, because it would just be John exposing himself to them for the first time. All of these people all sit there and play Member When with him. Well, but just complete strangers, I think would have made the show really interesting.
Well, okay, maybe not complete strangers, but you're right, because when he had that movie critic, was it Gene Siskel?
Yes.
And he was he's like, oh my gosh, you got to see this thing in Pulp Fiction. He's like, okay,
it wasn't Siskel. He's long dead.
Yeah, who was it?
It was just the guy who worked with them.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
And he was the dude who replaced the fucking Ebert. He replaced Ebert.
Here we go.
Richard Roper.
Okay.
I got there.
That makes sense.
So, he had Richard Roper on, and he just was talking about all the things that he knew to try to make himself sound good.
What you were just explaining is exactly what happened, where the guy's looking at him like, why are we talking about this? What's going on right now? Because John was just trying to make himself look famous and smart in front of him.
They
call it a cold open, Richard. It's the thing before the credits on a TV show. You know, on Saturday Night Live. Yes, we know, John. Jesus Christ!
And I told Quentin Tarantino to just slow it down a little bit and stick to the script.
I told him, you can't keep rambling on and on, Quentin, you idiot.
We don't need your improv here. I'm the writer. He is magical with people that he doesn't know.
I know. Minnie, you're talking to the guy who discovered this first. I know. It's amazing.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I just can't stand these things with the people who know him. Just humor him.
Well,
it's so boring.
Because this conversation has already happened 34 times.
Right.
He gets on Grillo or Doug Goodstein or these guys who will just keep coming back, and they don't have any more stories to tell. It's like, we got it. Yeah, okay.
They don't ever tell any stories anyway. John tells the stories back at them, and they go, oh, yeah.
I mean, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, where he's like, remember that time I was mad at you? It's like, no, Jesus Christ, I don't know, man. But what I like is when John gets distracted. So in this clip, he's going to get distracted by his hard seltzer. because he was drinking a berry flavored seltzer. Remember, it was berry on the balcony. He came up with that witty.
Oh, he was
line.
good.
So watch this. He takes a sip and he's just like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on here?"
It sounded exactly like he said. This is where we are, the Stern Show. So I don't know that
I
was.
don't know if you remember this one, Doug. This was that was Wildberry. This is Black Cherry. Okay.
Did you see that? He's like, "No, dog, I don't do it." What is that flavor in my mouth? That's not Coors.
Were the seltzers on sale?
He had to look at both cans. Like, wait a second. You can't fool me.
Do you think that he bought the seltzers because he was trying to cut back a little bit?
No, we got them from Juan. He said that earlier in the show.
Oh.
He had to borrow them from his neighbor because he ran out of beers. He thought he bought a case.
Gotcha.
I thought he bought a case of beer.
He's still figuring out the technology. He's all confused.
All right. This is a great anecdote. This is a perfect example of what you're talking about, Minnie.
Okay.
Where he just tells stories at people. So he's very proud of himself for this one. I don't know that this one aged so well. When I think back to the Howard Stern show, there are bits that are legendary, and then there are bits that didn't age so well. This might be one of the ones that I'd leave off of the best of reel if I were John.
But I kept asking him, douchebag says what? And then I was like, ball sack says what? And he kept on going, what? And again, you're laughing your fucking, and here's a war hero. And you're laughing your ass off. And I keep going, like, I'll ask him a question and I'll go, ball sack says what? And he kept saying, and it went on for like 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
And we were both fucking laughing. I think that's why
So
that
close,
we became
so close.
because we had the same sense of humor. And we're there doing this shit, and we know we're fucking so fucking wrong for doing it.
We laughed our asses off.
Oh, God.
I laughed my ass off.
3 times in that story. And then I said douchebag says what? And then I said ballsack says what? I mean, these are pretty good jokes.
At his funeral, someone's gonna. The only thing they're gonna be able to say is, "Well, he did laugh a lot." That's like all they're gonna be able to say.
Well, it seemed like he was having fun. So there's that. Good for him. All right. This is the last clip I have from this. And this is just, again, John brings out the greatest hits. And a lot of times in comedy, you want the act to be new. If you've already heard the joke, not as funny, the second time, third time, fourth time.
Tell that to Jeff Heisen.
Tell that to Jeff Heisen.
To his 14 YouTube subscribers. Oh, look, a new set.
But somehow, he's going to have 15 at the end of this. I'm getting out there. Somehow, Stuttering John is able to say the same thing over and over again, and it kills. He's so great at it.
Let me ask a question, Doug. Like, how do you react, and how do you think? Like, when you saw Triumph the Insult, Dog, and Ali G, Borat, and all that shit, or even Between Two Ferns, right? With Zach Galifianakis, do you ever go like, "Hey, we did that way, way before"? These guys.
He thinks he's fucking Zach Galifianakis now too. Holy shit! The balls on this guy. All right, so he's asking Doug. He wants to get Doug to agree with him. Now, listen to the way he goes about this. I would say, if I were, what was his name? Darrell Foster?
Sure.
I would say...
Darrell Brooks?
Darrell Brooks.
Yeah.
I would say objection, leading the witness on this one.
And then you'd stare.
Go like, "Hey, we did that way, way before. These guys are fucking doing ours. These guys are doing what we did back in the day." Like, because I do. I go, "Hey, that Triumph the Instant Dog is just me with a puppet." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And
You
humor.
listen, as long as you know that, or you're sure that you're the innovator of it and creator of it, which, I guess you could figure out by dates. Who cares? What does it say? Imitation is the best form of flattery. So
Yeah. Now,
Very diplomatic answer from
Senator Pussy, you have my vote.
very diplomatic answer from Doug Goodstein.
Great response to, yeah.
All right, you're not going to go along with it. Fine.
You and your logic.
I guess we'll move on then, you asshole. Way to ruin that bit. I just think it's hilarious to me that a guy like Doug Goodstein wouldn't say, "Well, John, this shit's been... First of all, you didn't even create that. That was Howard's idea for you to go out and ask these questions of people. And Howard didn't invent that either. This has been going on for a very long time. And Zach Galifianakis between two ferns? What are you, fucking insane?
Yeah, not the same.
It's not even close to the same thing. Oh,
Yes.
Geez, not the same thing. Oh, God, what an idiot.
He thinks that the fucking newscasters are fucking ripping him off. He sees someone talking to somebody on the street with a microphone, and this fucking wet brain of his.
Yeah, General GK in the
Charles
Discord.
Mayweather from Channel 4 stole my act.
They posted it on here. Steve Allen, man, on the street. I mean, this shit's been going on long before Howard Stern and Stuttering John were doing it. And the fact that no one will tell John to stop comparing yourself or being upset about Ali G and Borat is insane to me. Why wouldn't one person just be like, John, you sound so stupid when you say that. You have to stop saying that. Those are very talented people who made movies around this shit.
That would involve people who care about him listening to what he has to say.
That is correct.
Who are these